The grind to become a world champion is a great endeavor, let alone become a world champion in 8 different weight divisions. In this presentation, join us as we follow the trail of how Pacquiao made history and became boxing's one and only Octuple Champion. The title run began in 1998. Pacquiao, unknown at the time outside the Philippines, challenged the champion, who was making his 3rd defense as the WBC and lineal flyweight champion. It was treated as a tune-up fight, and Pacquiao was the underdog in this match. The smart, veteran champion effectively outboxed Pacquiao in the early rounds. The champion moved in and out, landing scoring blows. But Pacquiao adapted, and when the champion tasted the power of Pacquiao's left hand, he had no choice but to play defense to avoid Pacquiao's lightning-fast 1-2 combinations. In the end, Pacquiao's speed and power proved to be too much for the champion. The PacMan knocked out the champ in round 8 with a thunderous left hand to the chin. Pacquiao struggled to make weight in his 2nd defense and lost his lineal title to another Thai fighter via 3rd round knockout. Pacquiao skipped 2 weight classes and went to junior featherweight, where he amassed 6 straight wins since losing his lineal flyweight title. He had run out of opponents in Asia, so his team knew that it was time to take him to the other side of the world. Pacquiao and Freddie Roach had just met and were busy staying in fighting shape when an opportunity to fight on De La Hoya's undercard came. On January 23, 2001, Pacquiao made his American debut against Ledwaba as a late replacement on 2 weeks' notice after Lelo's opponent had to back out due to an injury. Unbeknownst to almost everyone in the West, a typhoon from the East had just arrived to shake up the boxing world. From the opening round, Pacquiao showed his wild, brash, aggressive, and offense-oriented boxing style. He was quick and swarmed Ledwaba with powerful shots early. Due to Pacquiao's relentless assault, Ledwaba was forced to go on the defensive mode. Ledwaba used his excellent jab to keep Pacquiao off him, but it was not enough as Pacquiao became increasingly aggressive. Pacquiao stopped Ledwaba in the 6th round, dropping him twice with cracking left hands. Ledwaba was regarded as the #1 junior featherweight at the time when Pacquiao absolutely destroyed him. Pacquiao moved up to featherweight to fight a Mexican elite and the lineal champion, Marco Antonio Barrera, who claimed the title after defeating Prince Nassim Hamed in a lopsided victory. Pacquiao entered the fight as a heavy underdog. In the opening round, Barrera knocked Pacquiao down to score a 10-8 round. However, the replay showed that Pacquiao landed a straight left and Barrera stomped on his lead foot before Pacquiao could step it to the outside. The first 2 rounds were quite competitive, and although Barrera had some success in some of the exchanges, Pacquiao's speed and aggression nullified Barrera's offense. The courageous Barrera could not keep up with the Filipino destroyer. In round 3, Pacquiao scored a knockdown with a straight left to Barrera's jaw. The barrage continued, and as the rounds went by, Pacquiao made Barrera look old and ineffective, landing fast combinations to the head and body. Before the end of round 6, Pacquiao dropped Barrera again with a right and left uppercut, but the referee ruled it as a slip. For the rest of the fight, Pacquiao dictated the action and dominated Barrera, until the accumulation of punishment put Barrera down again. Before the end of round 11, Barrera's corner had finally seen enough and threw in the towel to save Barrera from the onslaught. The legend was born, and everyone around his weight class was put on notice. The win made Pacquiao the first Asian to become a 3-division world champion. After his historic trilogy with Morales and a rematch with Barrera, Pacquiao moved up in weight class again to challenge Juan Manuel Marquez in a rematch billed as unfinished business, a callback to their first fight in 2004, which ended in a controversial draw. Being the only fighter who could figure out Pacquiao's moves, Marquez punished Pacquiao with excellent counters. Here, Pacquiao tried to make Marquez overcommit by setting him up with a trap followed by his signature combination. Marquez extended his lead arm as Pacquiao rushed forward to attack, not to block the punch, but to keep the distance in check, transferred his weight to the back foot, and leaned backward to make Pacquiao overcommit. Marquez deflected the punch with his lead hand, followed by an overhand right and a sweeping left hook. Marquez knew that the jab would draw Pacquiao in, so he used Pacquiao's trap against him. But Pacquiao's sneaky left hand found its way to Marquez's chin in the 3rd round. Pacquiao almost knocked Marquez down again with a right hand during a glorious end-of-the-round rumble. The fight was an exciting back and forth, with Marquez edging Pacquiao in the counter-punching department, while Pacquiao landed wild combinations. Marquez punched his way out of Pacquiao's best shots, and when one gets pushed to the ropes, a wild brawl always ensues. It was a battle to the finish. Pacquiao escaped with a split decision victory. The win made Pacquiao the first Asian to become a 4-division world champion. Marquez's camp called for an immediate rematch, but Pacquiao had something else in mind. Instead of a rematch with Marquez, Pacquiao opted to move up to another division and challenge the WBC lightweight title holder, David Diaz. Despite fighting in a new division without a tune-up fight, Pacquiao fought comfortably. It was total domination. Diaz had almost no answer to PacMan's speed and power. Diaz became target practice for Pacquiao's right hand. And the rapid-fire combinations made Diaz a sitting duck in the middle of the ring. In round 9, Pacquiao finished Diaz with a sneaky left cross. The victory made Pacquiao a 5-division world champion, and he held both the WBC super featherweight and lightweight titles. Following his coming-out party and demolition of Oscar De La Hoya in a non-title welterweight match, Pacquiao dropped down to 140 pounds to challenge the lineal junior welterweight champion, Ricky Hatton. Pacquiao knocked down Hatton twice in the first round. Hatton was worried about Pacquiao's left hand. Pacquiao's camp knew this would be the case, so they sharpened his right hook in training as a countermeasure to stop Hatton from stepping to his left. Pacquiao made it an early night for Hatton, closing the show in the second round in spectacular fashion. That night, Pacquiao equaled Oscar De La Hoya's achievement to be the second boxer to win world titles in 6 different weight divisions. In his second bout as a welterweight, Manny Pacquiao clashed with Miguel Cotto for the WBO title, a tremendous fight at the pinnacle of Pacquiao's career. The early rounds were competitive. Cotto was able to keep up with Pacquiao's speed. Pacquiao scored a knockdown in the third round with his signature combination. Cotto recovered and continued exchanging blows with the PacMan. But the knockdown in round 4 was not as forgiving. Pacquiao hurt Cotto with a short left uppercut, while Cotto was charging forward. Cotto was never the same after the second knockdown. Pacquiao continued to demolish and walk him down until the stoppage in the 12th round. Pacquiao's impressive performance earned him the title to become a 7-division world champion, a first in boxing history. After the second negotiation for the much-anticipated Pacquiao versus Mayweather had failed, a match that would give Pacquiao the chance to win a world title in his 8th weight class came to fruition. Margarito outweighed Pacquiao by 17 pounds on fight night. Margarito had some success trapping Pacquiao to the ropes. Pacquiao took some heavy shots to the head and body, but still laid a savage beating on the bigger opponent. He backed Margarito up and landed almost all his punches. The fight that should have been stopped earlier became target practice down the stretch. Margarito's career was cut short because of the damage inflicted to his orbital bone. Pacquiao defeated Antonio Margarito via a unanimous decision. The Great had made it to 8. With the win, Pacquiao became the first and only boxer to become an 8-division world champion, boxing's one and only Octuple Champion. If you want to see more in-depth boxing breakdowns and analysis, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you won't miss anything.